Hello, this is Jared playing Oxygen Not Included on hard mode, trying to get all achievements. Last time, I've been working on this rocket because I want to go out in space to get a few achievements there. I've got a design. I'll cover the different components to this. But before I do that, how about we go through a number of comments from you guys? Starting here with Yen93, who says, melting the rocket wall, isn't that cheating for hard mode? I guess from my yeah, I can see your point. What I was thinking, my hard mode was just the hard mode game settings. I'm also using. Let's see. Mahat also mentions the fact that I'm also using the trick to get infinite storage. So at this point, I am going to definitely continue with that because I've already started and was planning to do so. But one thing I am planning not to do is you spam rovers. I'm not going to send rovers on asteroids unless we actually have gotten there. Oh, hold on. Just want to make sure and trap my dupes from being able to get up. What other comments is there? Isn't there a 2 kilogram or 2 kilowatt transformer? Is there? It sounds familiar, but I don't recall that there actually was. I'm assuming you're meaning why I put 2 double transformers here. Is there one that does this? There's this guy here. This guy does 4,000, but I don't think there's anyone that does 2,000. I also don't love the fact that we've got a single pile of dirt right there, so maybe we'll clean that up. What else do we have? Plastic blocks radiation. So the thing I've been trying to do in the last episode, in fact, I'm still trying to fill this area with water so we can maximize the amount of radiation protection. Currently, we're at 146. That will start to go down as we get more and more water in there. Yeah, plastic does do a good job. I'm hoping for perfect radiation protection once we get enough liquid. That way, keep in mind on hard mode, the dupes are more sensitive to radiation. I'm hoping not to be bothered by that. Maybe make sure I don't trap my dupes like I've just done there as I explain some of my comments. Okay, what else is there? Nice work. Maybe you need a deck chair for all the sunlight. Oh yeah, the sunlight at the top. A lot of that shining down. It's probably going to go away, especially once we get the solar panels. I think that was it for the comments. So, well, let me just, before I go into the different aspects of what this rocket is supposed to do, I'm actually unsure of one thing. That is, if I've got an airflow tile here, will gas be able to escape to the side? Because with this design for liquid storage, I'm worried about my gas going out and essentially being leaking out in space, which I don't want to see happen. Let's see, maybe I'm kind of getting ahead of myself with some of the construction just as I'm trying to explain things. But what I'm intending over here is to give this a test. We will need to send some air, oxygen maybe, which should be easy enough, into the rocket. So let's do that. Oxygen line close by. Tell the dupes to focus on that part of the project. Okay, so with that, let's make that tile right there high priority. My thinking is if I put a bunch of gas in here, let me double check. Drywall is in there and it doesn't leak. We should be good. And then I'll take you through the rest of this design, speed things up. Check on Explorer over here, who is going to be getting pumps for these 2 little cool slush guys. We've got lots of cool liquids, so that's a good thing. Okay, so we trapped this area. I just need to get a little bit of gas in there. I'm hoping this is true. In worst case, if it's not, I could always create some tiling around where I plan. Well, again, not only am I melting the rocket wall, I'm using the trick inside that rocket of storing infinite liquids. I'm thinking my next playthrough, oddly, might not be on hard mode, but I actually am going to restrict myself from all the tricks. I'm not. I think the trick that I don't like the most is spamming rovers, but melting the rocket wall, yeah, it's definitely it's a trick, not something that I think was really meant to be though. Matt mentions that it's been that way. Actually, there's been a number of tricks that I thought for sure that they were going to take away that they never have. Okay, about to find out. Let's just cut this. If the pressure goes down, clearly it's leaking. Okay, I thought that was going to work. Okay, it is. It's actually leaking. My assumption. What? Oh wait. Is that because this tile's not built? Oh shoot, that it might be. If you can kind of see, I was thinking that the gas was leaking out here. I don't think that's actually what's happening. Let's not destroy these. That would be terrible. Let's get this built. Okay, so there's that, and then we want to oh, no, don't touch that. Make sure we still have liquid coming in. We do. We'll want to stop that at some point. Make a priority of building these two. I'm going to tell the dupes to prioritize on the floor. Figure if I destroy some stuff, we're going to lose everything we destroy. Unless we actually put in a floor there. So the ordering has that logic to it. I'm assuming that this is actually going to work. This is actually going to capture the gas. At this point, we've got a full vacuum. Of course, we're exposing both sides to the space. Let's put that in right there. We should see some oxygen go in. Cut that. Oxygen levels. Oh, still going down. But is that because it's going up? Oh, it's going out that way. That still doesn't answer the question. Shoot. I'm realizing now. Probably don't have to do that one, but let's one more go, one final go, and I'll have a clear answer on this, I suspect. Dupes there putting in their floor. I want to maintain morale. Figuring lots of gold will help that out. We're going to have a telescope inside the rocket so that we can actually do some opening up the tiles in the world here as we fly around, which will be cool. We're able to collect some power. Just have to prioritize on the construction of that. We'll have a hydrogen generator. We'll go through the whole thing, but let's just experiment on this. I've got some of these storage bins close to the entrance. Obviously, oh, you know what I should build somewhat soon? Just so that I can disable this. I don't want to see a dupe go through this in this way, in such a way that they take their suit off. So I want to build that quick so I can disable it. Some of the floor coming together. I do want to make some a nature reserve. So that's what this is about. And finally a tile here and here. Make sure there's no fires or anything like this on the base. I can grab. Oh, metal power banks. There's a risk of water touching that and overheating. So I'm just going to do that. So I will print this. We are going to get a bionic dupe at some point. We have to if I want one of the achievements. I was planning on going with no bionics, but once I realized one of the achievements requires it, we'll get at least one. Probably multiple, to be honest. So that I can get a few dupes that are really good at flying. Once that's going to be related to one of the other achievements, but we'll worry about that another day. Okay, let's disable this building before a dupe goes through it. Let's now connect this together. So that appears to be holding. Okay, so that's what that was my assumption. I just wanted to make sure my whole design was based on that. So let's get that out. With that, you know what? Let's just carry on a little bit more. I'll make my nature reserve tiles. And then I'll take a quick break where I can do some... Oh, don't build what I should have done. Just make... Actually, yeah, I should make everything low priority. Unless it's something specifically I want them to do just now. Yeah, that's not... I don't know if that's going to get in the way. It might not. All right, let's take that out. I want 4 tiles to plant. Get a pip in here, obviously, later on. Almost thinking I should have built the rocket down there. They're just having to fly up and down for no reason at this point. Where's the temperature? Last episode was half of it was about cooling things down. I should watch the radiation levels. Slowly going down. I might actually take a lot more water than I thought. Oh. Yeah, okay. They're never going to get to that unless I up the priority. Okay, while we're waiting for that, let me just do... Oh, hold on. Maybe it won't take too long. There we are. Okay, I'm going to take a quick break. Then I'm going to give you a tour of my rocket while it gets built. Okay, let's get started with construction. I'm going to target this one component at a time. That way I can actually show you those components. I'm going to start with the infinite storage. And there's 2 things that I want. One, or rather 2 liquids that I want. One is petroleum for our jet suits. And the other is water for oxygen production. So if you've got those 2 things, I figure we're going to be in a really good situation. So that's the thinking here. Airflow tiles, just to make sure that the water doesn't break out. Technically don't need the corner pieces, but putting them in anyways. As long as we've got this airflow from here, and we have something locked off, I already learned it won't be leaking any gas. Thinking the far end one is going to be for petroleum. Figuring the petroleum is going to be heavier, so it has the liquid pump on the bottom, whereas the water has the pump on the top. So I'm going to give this a full test before we go too far with other things. The storage over here is for hydrogen. That is for power. So if I've got power, oxygen from the water, petroleum for my suits, I'm thinking, and then the other storage is food, which maybe I'll do after. We'll see. Builder. Just taking a quick break, flying around. I also put in notification equipment to notify me when I start running low. If I'm on a mission and I realize water's getting low, or petroleum for that matter, that could put a halt to the mission pretty quickly. I also put in little filters, maybe for, we'll try 20 seconds. There and there. We're going to have power. I did connect. Okay, I've got power connected into that much. Actually, this is going to be important right there. It doesn't have to be airflow tile. It could just be a regular tile, but I'll make it airflow. It's occurring to me that gas is going to be going around here, which means that the hotter petroleum might be slowly heating up, but we'll have a cooling system, so I think we can live with that. Just thinking to myself, is there a way I could guarantee if I wanted my steam turbine fitting that exact location, unless I have tiles there, I don't think I can force that to be vacuum. It's gonna be fine. Okay, with that, I'm really hoping that I've got everything just right here. Let's see if I actually have liquid set up to go in. Not yet. Oh, water's go. Oh, right. Water's not flowing. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What went wrong? Yeah, we didn't get our full radiation protection. For some reason, this is blocked. Why? Why? If you can't go into the first one, shouldn't you be able to go down to the second one? Is that never set? Maybe it wasn't. Okay, that's important. I didn't realize that was missing. A little bit worried there. So now we're going above the 1,000. Suffocating. Who's Whoa! How did we disable this? No! No! Okay, hold on. Can I just get them to put on this suit here? Doc, that was not supposed to happen. This was not supposed to happen. Doctor, put that on. Fly away. Okay. Cool. Let's put 2 tiles here. We're gonna have to put in maybe what I'll do just to test this out. We'll build yeah. Let me do some planning because I'm thinking of building a pipe going in. We're gonna have to cut this and bring in some of the other liquids one by one. So outside the rocket, I'm going to make a pathway for petroleum to go up. Here we'll also maybe cut these there and there. Stop sending that in that direction. Stop sending that in that direction. There may not be a whole lot of excess slack actually, but we'll come back to that. So while that is being built, figure the easiest way, we're gonna put 2 bottle drainers and we're gonna put in brine. Figuring brine's gonna sink to the bottom of this section and it'll be lighter than petroleum, so it'll go up to the top. Why is this? We have this building disabled. Why does this keep happening? This is annoying. Builder. Okay, this is unexpected. On your suit there, builder. Setting errant. Oh, it's not actually flipped because it's of low priority. Okay, yeah, we got to get someone. Doctor, thank you. Okay, that explains that. All right, with that out of the way, let's do brine. High priority. Do that at both of those. Why am I building lacks resources? Doctor, going to eat. Maybe they're starving. Can clearly see they're able to make it to the deep freezer, so they're going to be completely fine. Okay, going back here, we should, assuming there's going to be brine somewhere on the floor. It's got to be. Okay, there we are. We don't want more than 1,000. Should be easy to monitor. Realizing too, this system should work quite good. This system might run into a problem when the pressure is too low. And it may take that brine in with it. Let me think. I actually think I may already know, but this may force me to do this, which means we have to get back in there. So if the pressure's low, actually I want that to be a not, don't I? Kind of the opposite. All right, hold on. Well, I think I've got a quick fix. We do have to go into here. Amount of brine's probably enough, though I'm going to allow the dupes to put in a little bit more. All I'm doing is putting a NOT gate at this location. We're going to make this do the reverse, such that we'll be able to turn this off when the pressure of the liquid is too low, such that we don't, hopefully, anyways, don't get brine down there. I'll set something now. So if you're, let me think about this. If you're above, it's going to be the opposite down there. Yeah, I'll say rocket out of water. We want to go right to it. And let me just say, take this, copy that setting into there, except for Okay, why rocket out? Hold on. Yeah, okay, that's not. Yeah, I know it's out now. I guess maybe not pause, not zoom. Ah, okay. Let's just disconnect that. So it's not connected. That's the easiest thing for now, I'm thinking. Oh. Oh. Yeah, yeah. We need to snap that. We want that to be above, right? Not below. So right now we're getting a true signal. We're not going to connect it yet. We know and realize that there's not enough. That's probably going to be enough brine. So you know what? Let's get rid of these guys. Let's just move this out of the way. I think we can seal this back up now. More water continuing to go up here. Close to 100 with radiation. Fill those 2 tiles in. Then the next 2 tiles. We'll do this a test. We'll do a test with... Now, the only thing is... maybe I will... I don't know if I'll change my mind. We won't always need a rocket. I'm going to have to specifically cut certain things, which may get old. I can always refactor that after. It's the only thing I'm thinking I may not like about this. Astronaut putting in our tiling for airflow. 2 more to go. And we'll take care of... We've got to do a quick test. We can't just assume this is going to work. Why, though, is the brine not moving? I get why. Simply because we don't have anything indicating, for the simulation at least, that it's going to go out. I don't even think that has to be built, or maybe it does. Okay, so we've entrapped that area. Before we move on to the technically I left a little bit of metal in there, but you know what? It can stay. Before we move on to the gas storage, let's test this out. Just to make sure it's all functioning correctly. Did that get our liquid? That got our final liquid out of there. It would be really easy to test the water. So when I want to insert water, I'll have to cut that. Let's do a connection right there. Fully disconnect that. So water's going in. Now, if it had the ability, it should, unless I maybe screwed something up, go in this direction. And have that, we'll have that go out. The other thing is we want to join up with that system. Doing some insulation, since insulated pipes, since the petroleum will be hot. Water, I'm not so much worried. I think we've got that good then. The only thing is, before we seal this up too much, I'm going to ask for that to be put in, but there's technically no point in that being gold, is there? Because no one will actually see it. Not that we're short gold by any means, but okay, so having it down there means we'll be able to get access to it, but there should be some water right here. Why am I not seeing it? Oh, contents of brine. Okay, yeah, that I understand. I should have cut that before, and that probably have a similar thing. Maybe. Oh, did I miss something? We have a little bit of brine. Okay. You know what is probably going to be best then? Is just to drain that brine out. Did not realize that. But we don't want to take out the liquid, so I'm going to do a cut here. And where would be the... Well, it's not flowing on that side. Move this out of the way so we can start to think about the storage there of the hydrogen. That will require, let's see, 2 of those. Okay, so that gets that out. That's that one empty. A little bit of brine still there, so hold on. Okay, and there. Cut that. Okay, so with that, now let's get rid of that. I think that is looking good. If that keeps going up, should get to the point where this little trick here should allow that to keep going. How is the petroleum pipe on the outside? Because if it's good, we'll test out petroleum. Okay, we need to do that, do that. Oh, no one can actually build there. Right. Forget about that. Okay, let's patch that up at high priority. And let's prepare this system for petroleum testing. So we'll stop loading in water. Hopefully I remember to... Oh, well, there's no point in sending that that way. I was thinking it was going up. Okay, so here's the... This could actually get really bad if I forget to connect certain things. I might even... yeah, we'll worry about that after, but I can already see the potential disaster. So petroleum now. I want to have sent in that direction. And I'll prepare path for petroleum to come up. While this is on the way, I'm just going to pause it here because I will definitely want some sort of automation. Otherwise, I know problems are going to happen. So I'm going to stop and plan that out now. So it did not take me long to realize that my plan of trying to remember to cut and reconnect things is going to go terribly. There it comes in the petroleum. So we're putting in a little filter here. We're going to filter for petroleum. And if we do get petroleum, we'll go up and load into this guy. If not, I'm going to assume that we're going to have water. Hopefully, I'm expecting that's the only two things I'm going to allow liquid-wise into the rocket is water and petroleum. If that's the case, we'll get water going into here. We're going to combine with this system right there and put that into our water storage. The petroleum has stopped. Is that because... Okay, eventually we're going to cut that. But let's look down here. Okay, yeah. So petroleum is definitely heavier than the brine. So I think that's going to work just the same, or just the opposite of that. Liquid being loaded in there. Let's put those two tiles together for that. While that's going on, eventually we're going to take in hydrogen. Right now we're bringing in oxygen. Just wondering if I need to filter. I don't think I ever... We'll make our own oxygen within this asteroid. So that being the case, that was just a little bit of oxygen for some testing. Let's back this system off. Do the same thing within here. Make sure we don't get any little bit of oxygen in this area. We'll insulate. Hold on, let's just wait for that to be taken out. Let's see, how is this going to work? We're gonna want, where we I guess it's just for power going upward. All right, I'm going to take a moment to plan this out. I also realizing I don't have a notification for my hydrogen to get low, though I think we may be able to live without that. Realizing we need that tile destroyed if we actually want that pipe to be built. All right, let's put in the infinite hydrogen storage. Okay, so I've got my plan here to load in hydrogen from the left side. Excess storage. We're going to need to... Oh, we'll need a little bit of liquid, don't we? So we'll need a floor. I could use a little bit of petroleum just from dropping some of this in. One of the dupes can get that built for us. If I destroy that, will that drop or will that leak into space? I think it'll drop. We will need less than 2,000 grams. Should be fine. That single pipe, right? Take that out just because of the priority of that. And I didn't really plan power situation. We'll bring in power from the top. That's what I figured. Awesome. Now, how much liquid is there? 5. I'm worried about that being too low, to be honest. Won't we do this? I should have done this instead. Someone with electrical engineering will need to build those 2 wires. Just in case I forget to mention, well, I don't know how far I'm going to get today. But if I do finish this, whenever I do finish it, the next project, I think, will be the nuclear power plant. Okay, so let's aim for, let's say, 300. Actually, I've got to times that by 2, don't I? On both sides. That's going to be enough then. Let's put that in before we do that. Now I'll want to get rid of the petroleum line. Or rather get rid of the petroleum that's in this line so we can start delivering some water again. But someone does need to take this out for us. Otherwise we'll just be, I don't want to waste petroleum. Might as well put the petroleum we have there. In this set, this is where I will have to use the scissors and cut, which I'm not as worried about. Okay, dupes, I have to fly around an awkward way to get up there. That's fine. Let's just drain this out then. With that drained out, we will cut this right here. I'll set this back up to start loading up in this way. And then we may have done it. No, we have not. I did not. It's the wrong type of, okay. Went too quick there. We need power to get into this. But I can still ask for water to be brought in, can't I? So that's this line right there. Disconnect that just because. Take that random bit off. You know, I'll just keep that for now at least. All right, so let's double check that that's going in the right direction. That's going up there the way we want it to be. So if I want to upgrade in the future, we might as well use this style. Heavy watt conductive joint plate. I make that an 8. I assume that the right order of events will happen. Oh, I forgot the gold. That may not work out then. So let's see. Hydrogen would go up into here, and we're going to test the hydrogen before we move too far on. If that's able, yeah, that looks right to me. We trapped a little bit of gold, but I think we're gonna live with my plan. By the way, is when I no longer need a telescope, we're gonna actually move the hydrogen. I think, anyways, to save appropriate amount of space up there. This was our experimental stuff. Let's take that down before I forget about it. And now we'll see about pushing in. Oh, hydrogen. Here's the thing. I don't want to take the hydrogen from here. I want to take it from after the infinite storage. So we're kind of effectively wanting to take it from here. So let's do that much. Do some digging just so we can get through. Okay, and Will we need oxygen? Definitely we will need oxygen. That's a hydrogen going up, or down rather. So we'll want a hydrogen going. Just trying to think if I need to insulate or not. You know what? If it becomes a problem, I can always insulate later. Okay, so we'll do that much. That would allow us to send some hydrogen in. I'm going to maybe trust those dupes for a minute or two. I'm not gonna. If I know something goes wrong, I'll film again. But I might just leave that for a minute or two. Hopefully, it's gonna go fine. What's this? Cycle 569. I'll be back when I think this is built. Okay, I'm back. I see we've got 19 dupes. I think that is the first time this playthrough that I've trusted my dupes. I was just kind of doing some side work here, so I would have heard if there was some sort of emergency. I think there's just a few pipes left at this point. Okay, so if this works, hydrogen should be flowing up in here. That's going to allow me to test this out. All right, with that, let me design. You know what? Let's do this in parts. Let's put in our jet suit checkpoint. I'm realizing that I want to trap the dupes from being able to get through here, so maybe we'll have to change that out. I will need an oxygen pump. I forgot about that, actually. Completely forgot about needing to provide oxygen into here. Shoot. I mean, that could just be a simple pump alongside one of the electrolyzers. There's only one electrolyzer right now, but I may put in a second one. Okay, let's get these built, and then I'll have a think about how I want to handle that. So I will need electrolyzer. That's my plan for oxygen. I want more than one. So there's one that's going to provide general oxygen for the base. I'm thinking a second one, especially maybe somewhere around this area. The only thing is, we may trap hydrogen. Oh, we might trap hydrogen up here. But that might, I don't know if that's a bad thing. So when the dupes come in and out of here, in the future anyways, they should be wearing the suits. I could also provide the suits themselves at this point. Or actually, hold on, no, maybe that doesn't make sense. Because when the dupes go through this direction, they're just going to take whatever suit they had off. Okay, I'm going to take a moment now. We've got, let me just finish the little section on jet suits. They're going to need power. And they're going to need oxygen, petroleum. Have I done the petroleum line? I have almost done that. Okay, that would not be good. A little bit of petroleum making its way in, which is fine. Because that's a whole idea. In fact, is there something I can do to... Oh, the pump would need power in order to get that to run. That can be tested later on. Okay, so here is the plan. We're going to put electrolyzer right there. We're going to accept the fact that we're going to get lots of hydrogen up there. I don't think that's going to be a problem. Right underneath there, we're going to put in a pump that's going to run to fill oxygen into these guys until that becomes backed up. And the power, I'm going to do power at the very last stage of this. So we'll just leave power out for now. But we are bringing heavy wires down that far. I'm going to leave this area open up for now. Hopefully it won't forget to close that off. I'm not going to do the drywalling to the end. So let's think about the piping. If we're looking for oxygen, and I better set that. Looking for oxygen. And also ask for that little connection before I forget. Should this be part of the heavy wire system or not? Okay, we'll figure power out after. But we're going to collect hydrogen from here. We're going to potentially get hydrogen from here and merge that up into our infinite storage. Infinite storage not working. Whoa, 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 whoa. Didn't realize in all that work that something's not happening. I think that's just a pipe that's not connected, actually. Yeah, nice. Okay. Oh, we overfilled that big time, didn't we? 2,000, which is 2 kilograms. Oh, that's only 2 kilograms. Right. Shoot. Okay. I think we're just going to waste it. That's fine. In fact, maybe there's no need of going up. Maybe we'll get that gold out of there after all. If I destroy that and I recreate that, will that bring the level down to something acceptable? Of course, we're going to be leaking hydrogen right now. Oh, and yeah, because we're in space. Okay. We don't have any gas in there. We will have to come up to this top. I would have needed to have some drywalling down there to have the liquid saved, I suppose. Well, maybe we put in some water instead. But I would need, or 100, that's too much brine. Need less than 2. Okay, I'm going to search for the appropriate amount of liquid somewhere on my base. Found a little bit of petroleum here. A lot of the petroleum that already is around must have been because I destroyed some jet suits, because there's an even 100 kilograms. Even that is going to be way too much. Oh no. Okay. What about there? 18. That is better. Let's throw this here. The other thing I could do, how much can be put in? I wonder, let's give this a test. If I were to do this instead and ask for petroleum to be dropped, oh, wrong location. Try that again. I'm almost thinking that may not work, so I'm going to do 2 things at once. We'll see which one wins. Ask for that to be mopped up, essentially separating it. Oh, I didn't really need obsidian up there. That's all right. Mop up in here just because. Actually, I could put in water, couldn't I? Feel like petroleum would be a little bit safer, just in case we get an overheat situation. No, we get an overheat situation, I think we get bigger problems. I'm worried about this putting in too much, but the question is, can I catch it at the right time? Someone coming up. Oh, no, never mind. I thought they had petroleum. Okay, let's slow things. Okay, already went way too quick. And sadly, I think that is too much. Is there any chance I could get a dupe? I think the dupes are just going to, especially since I'm in fast mode, probably going to mop up everything. Yep, not even enough time. Okay, so that is just too much. Let's put that aside up there. Let's go look down this section. I need something that's less than 2. Oh, that's just less than 2. 300, 5, 15. Let's take the 15. Let's drop that in here. And then I'll go back to some testing of this system. So we're looking for a laboratory to be created. Okay, we'll come back. Let's not try to do multiple parts of the rocket at once. Okay, Let's empty this up. So this is going to give us our 2 storage, if I've gotten this right. Okay, make that 9 now. Water continuing to go in. We're down to 47, mostly safe. This is hard mode though, so dupes are more sensitive to the radiation. And as you can see, I've designed this for 4 dupes to be able to travel at the same time. Okay, if that works, then we should see hydrogen flow into, there we go. Okay. We have done our infinite storage. I believe I will take a quick break and then we'll move on to another part of the rocket. So I have the feeling like we're probably not going to finish this rocket today, but I'm going to aim to finish the utility side of the rocket. So far we've got our liquid, both petroleum and water, and we've got our infinite storage of hydrogen. We've got our water sieve, our oxygen system set up. Let's now concentrate on the cooling system. Now there's one regret I had about this pipe here. That was in the way of where our little cooling steam turbine is going to be. I'm hoping at this end right here, let's do this at higher priority so we don't get something that can't be built later on. But there's 2 things that are cooling. One is a cooling line that's going to be running around. We've got some conductive panels that we make sure the steam turbine itself can stay cool. But we need to have a deep freezer. We're aiming to store some food in here. So we want to really get a really cold temperature. We're going to need hydrogen for that. Well, we should have plenty of that available. Do I care that that is working and storing more and more hydrogen? No, in fact, that should actually be a good thing. Okay, let's get rid of that little section since I don't believe we're going to be needing that anymore. Oh, whoa. No, never mind. We are going to be using that, aren't we? Check our radiation shield has gotten down to 37. Won't we set these now instead of having them forgotten about? If we're above, set that to 22. That's for the rocket itself. This is for the deep freezer. If we're above minus 22. Feel like it should be a bit higher. Minus 26. We'll try. Do we have our piping? So that's our cooling line. It's the water drop line. Realizing we need to do, hold on. Build this in a certain order. I'm hoping that this makes sense, but since this will be in a natural vacuum, don't think we will need to have that insulated in any other way. Oh. But how is that going to come out? Oh, I think I know. I think then we need another thing like this. And then something. Oh, but if I hold on. If I do that, I'm just realizing we're leaking gas. Okay, my little trick here, I don't think has been well thought out enough. Because technically, yeah, if I leave this as a, or, wait a minute. What if I just don't leave that as a vacuum? Which tile should I think that one, put that to there. Okay, if I did that, then would be okay. And I'm making the assumption that if we've got gas there, it's not going to leak this side. I'm pretty certain that is how that works. We've already basically tested it, but just with Airflow tiles. Okay. Hoping I'm not wrong. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to come back to a big refactor. I think that's right. And if that's right, technically, do we not need this? Is that X like on this? I never even thought about that. Okay, in this case, I'm gonna use it. The only thing I've seen the game do, and it won't work in my mind if it does this. But will this, every time I save or basically reload my game, is it gonna make a disconnection here? Let's test this out. That's how the game used to be. And I don't know if that was inside the rocket, to be fair, but around the asteroid itself, if I had a power connection or automation between these two fire tiles, I'd reload my game and that would go away. So I'm going to get this built, verify if that's the case. If it is, then I'll have to change it. If it's not, then I guess I don't have to worry. Okay, so right now we see that there is a connection. I'm just going to reload my game and we'll see what happens. Just restarted my game. I can tell that that looks decent. Okay, perfect. Well then, I guess we don't need that little section. Moves. Oh, okay. I didn't put in ordering the events down here. You can see that was a mistake, but easily fixed. Up the priority of that so we can kind of call this part of this system down. So basically, this should be really easy. Radiant pipe right here and here. Keep that going in a cycle. If cooling's needed, it will turn this machine on. Make sure I have automation, both those there. That looks good. Put insulation right there. Got lots of ceramic, so using all that out of ceramic. Not that it has to be. Oh, igneous rock down here. Okay, so that should be our cooling system and our deep freezer. Okay, good. We got that built first. What? Hold on. I think this was an old way I thought I was going to do this. That's no longer needed, actually. Okay, and I'm realizing I probably should have some sort of alarm to see when the fridge might be empty. That outputs, how did I do that on the base? Do I essentially, wondering if I need a knot. Oh, and a buffer. Okay, so not, I don't need the knot, but the buffer would make sense. Fried mushroom. Okay, running out of, yeah, I need to think about how that, oh, but that's meant to go, right? So we'll do a buffer right out of the fridge. Automation, connection, and then we're going to be good. Let's just put some water in before we forget to do that. Shouldn't be too hard. Oh, but we would need power. I don't want to run power because that would involve potentially making a transformer run in space. So you know what? I'm just terrified that I'm going to forget is the issue I'm having. So let's maybe do this instead. Or we've got a flow of water right from there. That doesn't require power. Could connect to that pretty quickly. Just don't want to have that system run without any water in it. Realize I broke it and we have to rebuild it. We'll check. We've got our heavy watt wire line there. Yeah, we do. Let's inspect the water situation. I'm noticing that is a little bit lower. That's a bit of a concern. I have been asking for a ridiculous amount of water. Maybe I should have put that on a separate system. Have we just run out somewheres? Not, I mean, we've got a full flow of water coming in here. We just finally gotten to the point where we're, you know what? I'm pretty sure we don't need these guys anymore. Take them out. So we're going to destroy every other one of these. And then once they're gone, we'll destroy the others. After some tiling goes in, of course. This isn't going to save probably the ridiculous amount of water. We are using lots of water for these guys, which I'm not going to take away because that's part of our meat system. I kept thinking about doing this in between playing the game, but every time I sat down to play this, I just never thought to take down this old farm. So I might as well take the lights out at the same time. Otherwise we're wasting power. So that can go. That can go. We'll take down some of the automation equipment as well. Make sure not to fully disconnect this because we are getting meat from the top part of the base. Okay, so with that done, where were we? We've got our cooling system, right? We're seeing if we can connect water, which we've just noticed is going out a little bit slower than I'd like to see. All right, so we have some water. That's not going to be enough, though. Do I need to have a separate system for loading? Where are we with the radiation? Are we almost done or 32? I'm going to do a quick little plan so I could separate the water that we're sending into the rocket from the main base. I could take water down there. It's a little warm though. I'll look around and decide what to do. We found some water down here. Actually not so much interested in the water as I want to drain it out so I can get some water sieves. My plan is once we get that to be drained out, I forgot we've got a crazy amount of polluted water from this guy here we're not even using. So why don't we use that? Start off with draining this out and we'll get in. Your 2 water sieves should be enough. Put one of those guys maybe right there. Storage of sand perhaps in the middle. And let's take that little guy right there out. Bring in heavy watt wire line. And we will want to connect into our polluted water line. I don't know if it matters what temperature. A little bit on the warmer side, so maybe avoid going through the base too much. Or I do, I'll insulate. Like so. Send our polluted water line down there. Cross separating this. Okay, this is a little unfortunate how this is, but shouldn't be too bad. I could just do this, come back across like that, start to I'll take that out. Send that up like that. Get rid of some loose ends along the way. There should still be lots of sand on this asteroid, I suspect. What could we do to support this? Put in an auto sweeper and lighting forever. Whoever has to empty this machine. Switch to copper just because a little bit more of that around. I think we've reached the maximum that we can pump out of here. I'll just mop up just because. Don't think we need that wall in place. In fact, I'll leave. Yeah, I don't think we do. Okay, and if that works, then we could, I think we may still want to have this, but have it go at lower priority. You know what, let's just disconnect it for now. I think that will be able to take over. Okay, so that separates the water system. Looking back in here. Oh! Okay, all right, no more water. That is more than I had intended to put in there. But stop going down that direction. Get rid of that little excess pipe. And then hopefully by the time this is done, we'll have our water flow running at a higher capacity, such that we can get this radiation protection done. It's looking pretty good though, at 27 at the moment. I'm just thinking, is there any downside? Don't normally, I'm worried about an overpressured area here is going to overheat this in some way. I'm gonna waste some of the water. Why don't we do this? So I want to get some of it back. I think I'd like to, just to be safe, get that a little bit lower. It's easier to do this now when the water is not super hot. Currently 28 degrees, that's not bad at all. Open that door. And if we're going to have a nature reserve, create some doors between the nature reserve and the machinery. So I think we're going to finish up on this little change here. And then I'll take you through, I think you can pretty much see the living area. But the living area will conclude or finish up next time. Just get that one last tile. Hoping that we don't get this to be too low. Yeah, of course, the tubes would not be quick enough. I'm going to take that out and hopefully remember to put that back in afterwards. You know what? We're just going to do this way in the end. Never leave your pipes alone. That was a mistake. Okay, so what I'll do, build that a priority. Ask for a mop up down here. Unfortunately, that wasn't too much, or that can't be mopped. assistant working on that. Just gonna put that, make it easy to walk between the deep freezer and our. Actually, we're gonna need an ornament. Anyway, that's gonna be tomorrow or next time's thing. Let's finish up. Just throwing a little bit of water right there and watching it. Not make sure, just making sure we don't get too much. While seeing if water's flowing well up there. It does. Looks good. I think I normally put about 75. So we'll wait for a little bit more. And then we'll consider that to be done. I see it's dry down here. Radiation protection. Oh, look at this. Okay, we've got to finish that for the day. Because otherwise I'll be throwing more water than is needed. That location, 40. In our electrolyzers. That's our second electrolyzer. I'm thinking 4 dupes, 2 electrolyzers. It's going to be... the only thing is I'm going to get a little bit of hydrogen. Probably back up this way. I think we should maybe put a single airflow tile there to maybe help to some degree. I'm going to ask for top little section to be built first, otherwise we're going to have to go around a long way. Okay, why is nobody using this? We should have plenty of water. Check out our radiation. Oh, look at this. 0. So we've got perfect radiation protection there, and it's slowly making its way as water pressure goes from here, from left to right. I can hit enable auto bottle, but why do they not? That's a bit strange. Unless maybe the dupes just happen to be picking up very small bottles and throwing them in. Which is annoying. Yep, that's exactly what's happening. Okay. You know what? 50 is going to be fine. If I think that's not enough, I could always... It'll be easier to add water once we actually have water pipes flowing again. With power and all that. So it could be fixed. Just more difficult to take it away. Actually, it's not that difficult to take it away. I could have just took it out of... Anyway, you know what? Finish up on that. We've got our... So that's all the industrial equipment. I want to say... That's actually... So why don't we finish up this little pump area? This is for hydrogen. Up that priority. We'll set hydrogen there. I'll let that other one be built. And maybe always just want to do one final thing before I finish. But I think that is where I'm going to actually leave it. Put in some of the settings where I know where certain stuff is going to be. I will want to make sure sand is on the rocket. To make sure that we're able to use this. So let me just hit copy there. Let me up the priority of that. So, okay, we already did. All right, well, next time, what I'm going to do, I actually don't think it's going to be that much. I'm hoping, well, maybe I'm just being optimistic, but I think we can finish this rocket pretty quickly next time. And then maybe even start the first phase of the nuclear power plant, which, if that's going to be a radioactive area, thinking Red Bolt engines, we'll want to keep it close here. I could put it either over here or over to the left. I'm kind of, in my mind, favoring it in that area. Anyway, that's something I can experiment with next time. All right, thanks for watching, guys. It's Jared playing Oxygen Not Included.